The house appeared on the security camera at 2:41 a.m. Lena was awake when the alert came in. She worked late nights, editing videos in her apartment across the street, the glow of her laptop lighting the room. Her phone buzzed once on the desk. Motion detected street camera. She frowned. The street camera only faced the empty lot across from her building. There was never any motion there. No cars, no people, just a broken sidewalk and tall grass. She tapped the notification. The live feed opened. Lena's breath caught in her throat. There was a house where the empty lot should be. Not a blur, not a glitch. A full house, 2 stories, dark siding, windows like black squares, a porch light that flickered once, then stayed on. It looked old but solid, like it had always been there. Lena stared at the screen, her heart beating fast. "That's not possible," she whispered. She glanced up from her phone and looked out her rear window. The lot was empty. She looked back down at the camera. The house was still there. The porch light brightened, as if someone had turned it up. The camera timestamp read 2:41 a.m. The seconds ticked forward normally. Then the front door of the house opened. Something stood in the doorway. The figure did not move. It just stood there, facing the camera. Lena's phone buzzed again. Motion detected street camera. The screen froze. The timestamp stopped, and the figure in the doorway lifted its head, like it could see her watching. The feed went black. Lena dropped her phone. 20 minutes earlier, everything had been normal. She had checked the street camera out of habit while making coffee. The lot was empty, the same as always. She had even joked to herself that the city would never build anything there. Lena lived alone. She liked quiet. That was why she chose this place. No loud neighbors, no busy traffic. Just the street, the lot, and her building. After the camera feed cut out, she picked up her phone with shaking hands and refreshed the app. The street camera came back on. The lot was empty again. No house, no porch light, no doorway. Lena stood up and walked to the window, pressing her forehead against the glass. The streetlight buzzed softly. Wind moved the grass in the lot. "Okay," she said out loud. "I'm just tired." She went back to her desk and tried to focus on her work, but her eyes kept drifting to the phone. At 3:02 a.m., another alert came in. Motion detected street camera. Lena didn't hesitate this time. She opened it immediately. The house was back. Exactly the same. Same shape, same porch light, same dark windows. But this time, there was more. The front yard had a mailbox now. White paint. A number on the side. The number was a building's address. Her stomach twisted. She looked out the window again. The lot was empty. She whispered, "No, that's not funny." The camera feed zoomed in slightly on its own, centering on the front door. The porch board creaked, even though there was no sound in the app. Then the door closed. Lena felt a chill crawl up her arms. She checked the camera settings. Everything looked normal. No zoom commands. No motion tracking turned on. The porch light flickered again. A shape passed behind one of the upstairs windows. Lena stepped back from the desk. "I didn't imagine that," she said. She grabbed her jacket and keys. "I'm just going to look," she told herself. From the sidewalk. Downstairs, the night air felt colder than it should have. The street was quiet. Too quiet. Even the usual hum from faraway traffic was gone. She crossed the road and stood at the edge of the lot. There was nothing there. No house. No porch. No mailbox. She turned in a slow circle, heart pounding. "This is stupid," she muttered. "I need sleep." As she turned to leave, her phone buzzed in her pocket. She froze. Slowly, she pulled it out. Motion detected street camera. Her hand shook as she opened the feed. The camera view showed the lot. From above. And the house was there. Lena stared at the screen, then up at the lot in front of her. Empty. She was standing exactly where the front steps of the house should be. On the camera, the porch stretched right up to the lens. The front door was close now. Too close. The door opened. Lena felt a wave of cold wash over her, even though nothing moved in front of her eyes. On the screen, the doorway was dark. Then a foot stepped out onto the porch. Lena stumbled backward and almost fell. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." She ran back across the street, her breath coming fast, her shoes slapping against the pavement. She didn't stop until she was inside her apartment with the door locked. She dropped onto the floor and stared at her phone. The camera feed was still live. The house filled the screen now, closer than before, like the camera itself had moved. The front door closed. A light turned on inside. In the downstairs window, a silhouette appeared. It raised one arm slowly and waved. Lena screamed and threw the phone across the room. When she finally picked it up, the feed had switched to another camera, her building's hallway camera. The view showed the empty hallway outside her apartment door. The timestamp read 3:14 a.m. Then the hallway light flickered. At the far end of the hall, where the stairwell should be, something stood that did not belong there. It looked like a doorway that led somewhere else. Her phone buzzed one last time. Motion detected, new camera added. Lena stared at the screen, her blood running cold. She had never added a new camera. The feed opened automatically. It showed the inside of a house. The same house. And this time, the camera was inside, facing the front door as it slowly opened from the other side. Lena couldn't breathe. The camera feed stayed open on her phone, showing the inside of the house that shouldn't exist. The view was steady, clear, and silent. The front door on the screen creaked wider, opening inward, as if someone invisible had pushed it. Lena backed away until her shoulders hit the wall of her apartment. "This isn't real," she whispered. "This isn't happening." The phone buzzed again. Motion detected interior camera. The camera angle changed. Now it showed a narrow hallway inside the strange house. The walls were bare. The floorboards were dark and worn. A single light bulb hung from the ceiling, swinging slightly even though there was no wind. Lena's hands shook so badly she almost dropped the phone. She looked around her apartment. Everything was normal. Her couch, her desk, her front door, still locked. Then she heard it, a sound from the hallway outside her apartment. Footsteps. Slow, heavy, careful. Lena's heart slammed against her chest. She switched to her hallway camera. The screen showed the hallway outside her door. Empty, but the footsteps continued. She switched back to the new camera. The hallway inside the house was no longer empty. A shadow moved along the wall, growing larger as it came closer to the camera. The light bulb flickered once. Then a figure stepped into view. It was tall, too tall. Its shape was wrong, like it didn't fully fit inside its own body. It stood in the middle of the hallway, facing the camera, completely still. Lena whispered, "Please, stop." The figure tilted its head. The camera feed zoomed in on its face. There were no clear features, just darkness where eyes and a mouth should be, like someone had erased them. The phone vibrated hard in her hand. Motion detected apartment door camera. Lena screamed and switched feeds. Her apartment door filled the screen. The handle was moving, turning slowly. Lena ran to the door and pressed her back against it, her hand shaking as she held the handle from the inside. "Go away," she cried. The handle stopped. For a few seconds, there was silence. Then the phone buzzed again. Motion detected interior camera. Against her will, Lena looked back at the screen. The figure inside the house was closer now. The hallway behind it seemed longer, stretching into darkness that didn't end. The figure raised one arm and pointed, not at the camera, at her. Lena felt a sharp pressure in her head, like something was squeezing her thoughts. Images flashed through her mind standing in the empty lot at night, staring at a house that wasn't there, opening a door she didn't remember opening. "I never went inside," she whispered. The figure's mouth opened, a black hole in its face. "Yes," a voice said, coming from her phone and the hallway at the same time. "You did." The hallway light outside her apartment flickered. Lena slid down the door and sat on the floor, covering her ears. "Stop," she sobbed. "I don't want this." The phone buzzed again. Camera sync complete. Her screen split into multiple feeds. The street camera showed the house standing solid in the lot now, porch light on, mailbox in place. The hallway camera showed her apartment door from the outside, and the interior camera showed the front door of the strange house opening wider. Lena realized a horrible truth all at once. The house wasn't appearing on camera anymore. It was appearing because the cameras were watching. and they were watching her. The hallway feed showed a shadow sliding under her apartment door. Cold air seeped in, making her shiver. The interior house camera moved forward, as if someone was carrying it, step by step, toward the front door. Lena stood up, panic taking over. She ran to her window and threw it open. Outside, the street was wrong. The empty lot was gone. The house stood there now, real and solid, blocking her view. Its front door was open, and the porch steps lined up perfectly with the stairs in her apartment building. Her phone buzzed one final time. Motion detected threshold camera. Lena looked down at the screen. The feed showed her apartment door from the inside. From behind her, she felt a presence at her back, cold and heavy, like the air itself had turned solid. A voice whispered right next to her ear. "You see it now." The lights in her apartment went out, and somewhere below, a door closed with a slow, final click.